Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, it's already started. Fire Joe Judge. Jones is a bust and a bum, and we should never have taken him. We should have gotten Josh Allen. He hasn't proved anything. Barkley's overrated. We shouldn't get his contract extended or even think about it because we're years away from winning. Oh my God. Like I said, this was going to happen. I predicted it a couple weeks ago that if the Giants lost, there was going to be a segment of fans that turned quickly on the team, quickly on Joe Judge, quickly on everything, and it's already started. They're already attacking Jones and Barkley and Judge. It's okay, guys. Just everyone relax. Were there some bad things about the game? Yes. Were there some good things about the game? Yes, there were positives. And sometimes you got to look through the negatives to get to the positives. One thing we did want to talk about briefly is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones really is Eli 2.0 because he had an Eli game. He made some fabulous throws, he made some unexpected throws, and then he made some head scratchers. And he did it in the red zone. It's almost like you were watching number 10 back in the beginning of 2007, the way he played. One of the things that is concerning to me about Daniel Jones would be his pre-snap reads and adjustments. Now, I understand that the Giants went with a lot of motion before the snap. They went a lot. They went quick to the line a bunch of times. But even doing that, as an NFL quarterback, and he had the problem with this last year, you need to make your pre-snap reads, make your line adjustments, and make your play adjustments as you see fit from the line. It took, well, you know what? It really didn't take Eli Manning that many years to do that. Eli Manning really started doing that in the second year. You cannot rely on Jason Garrett just calling in the play, then hurrying up to the line and running the play. And that's what Jones, if you watch, that's what Jones did majority of the game. You need to be the field general. You need to look down the field and say, okay, this guy's creeping, this guy's going back, these guys are moving over here. Let me make my adjustments, and then we will kind of go from there. This is the same issue that Jones had last year with Barkley, when Barkley was in his little mini slump. And he didn't break out of the slump again until Eli took over. Why? Eli was making the shifts. Eli was making the adjustments. Eli was looking at the play. Eli saw you have 8 in the box. You check out of that play. And Jones right now isn't doing that, which is fine because he is a second-year quarterback, and not everyone is going to be Eli Manning. And I think as Giant fans now, after one game, after 16 years of Eli, we need to appreciate some of the things that Eli did pre-snap that helped the team win. And I think, like I said, I think Jones will get there, but a lot of what happened to Barkley was poor line play, but a lot of it also was the fact that Jones did not check out of plays. Now, maybe he doesn't have a check down play. Maybe he doesn't have the ability to audible in the Garrett offense. Maybe he needs to run the play that is called. I don't know. As a second-year, like I said, he's a second-year quarterback. I don't know, but I would think a second-year quarterback in the league, and he's in the Garrett system, I would think he would have that ability. He would have the ability to adjust or call a different play. And a lot of times you watch the game and you saw Pittsburgh with 8 in the box, and you were like, okay, we're going to run the ball. And then they were in the offensive backfield before the ball was even snapped. Yes, and some of that, like I said, some of that was on Nick Gates, and some of that was on Cam Fleming, and some of that was on Kevin Zeidler and Will Hernandez. Andrew Thomas actually I thought Andrew Thomas had a solid game against a very good defense. But Daniel Jones needs to find his ability to make the adjustments at the line, or he's going to get Barkley killed. And he's going to get Barkley killed all season long. And if we can't, because of the fact that a lot of times it's not how poorly the line plays, It's the ability to call the right audible or the right offense against the defense that's in front of you. You know, if you got a 5-man line and you're trying to defend 8, yeah, somebody's going to get through. So I think right now what we need to do is we need to kind of, I want to say, regress a little and stop what I like to call the Harry High School stuff with all the motion and everything, this and this. You're not going to fool the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They fooled them early on because of the fact that, like everyone else, they had no preseason. And I've said it a million times. The lack of preseason is going to be detrimental to young teams. Older teams, they've been through before, they're going to figure it out, but it may take them a quarter or two. And that's exactly what happened. And then after that, I mean, we had, one possession within like 10 minutes in the third quarter? I mean, that's not what we want. And that's not what Joe Judge wants. And we understand that. I mean, but you have to understand, let's see here. Yeah. In the first 10 minutes of the quarter, Jones was forced to go to the air more frequently. Barkley had 6 catches. The Giants trailed by 2 scores after 41 seconds of the fourth and ran 4 offensive plays in the first 10 minutes of the quarter. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. I mean, but like I said, I don't blame it all on Jones. I don't blame it all on Barkley, and I don't blame it all on the line. I blame it on the combination of all three. Barkley being overrated, that is just crazy. Barkley needs to stop dancing a little as much, and we had the same problem. We had the same problem with Barkley the last 2 seasons, even in his fantastic rookie season. You have to attack the line. If you ever watch Christian McCaffrey, he doesn't look like a big guy, but that dude attacks the line. I mean, he goes in head first sometimes, and all of a sudden he just pops out on the other side. And that's what Barkley's got to do. What I was very surprised they did not do many times with the Giants is, why didn't they run the draw? You saw this team coming at you full force at some point in times. Offset them a little bit. Shotgun formation, delayed handoff, run the draw. Half the team at one point was 7 yards into the defensive backfield. You should have just figured out, hey, let's run the draw here, and let's just kind of move. Let's get our guys in space. But Barkley to me is not the power back. He's not a scat back. He's not a power back. He's neither one. He's kind of a combination of both. But he needs to trust his ability to attack and go headfirst into the line. Now the problem was, like I said, this week is some of these guys were 4 or 5 feet 4 or 5 yards into the backfield before Barkley even seemed to get the ball. There was one play that the Pittsburgh defender went around Gates. Gates literally had his arm above the guy's shoulder and almost wrapped it around the other side. I've never seen a center do that. I was like, dude, that is not what I would refer to as proper technique. I'm not saying we need to pull Gates for pulling, but I am saying that Gates is a work in progress. Cam Fleming, I've said it before. I used to say it all the time when we'd come back to Philadelphia, just leave the guy on 95. Cam Fleming, like I said, has never won a job in the NFL outside of injury or now, opting out. And you could see why. I was laughing because I was like, at one point I forgot the numbers, and I'm like, who the hell is 75? Because he's getting beat like he stole something. I mean, that's the thing that cracks me up. I mean, but the line needs to make some adjustments. Colombo has his work cut out from him. Anyone that thought this was going to be a win or an easy game for the Giants, or even a tough one for the Giants, was thinking more with their fan perspective than their actual football perspective. Now, the whole thing about fire Joe Judge. Joe Judge is the wrong coach. Joe Judge, I told you, he was a bum. It's one game. I mean, the team played hard. At times, they kind of wilted in the fourth quarter like I thought they would. I even said it before. I thought they would keep it close going into the fourth, and then they would lose. They would get blown out. And they kind of kept it close going into 2 minutes into the second quarter. 2 minutes at the end of the second quarter, and then kind of lost it from there. If Big Ben wasn't as rusty as he was, they may have scored 50. And I'm not saying that to be, like I said, how do you let Benny Shell Jr. go for 115? I mean, the run defense was supposed to be our strength. You let a guy who was also known as a power back at one point in his career, a short yardage back in Pittsburgh, go for 115. Oh, my God. But Joe Judge, it's about what I thought the game was going to be for him. I wasn't expecting more than this. I wasn't expecting less than this. I don't think they should panic about Judge. I don't think Judge is the wrong guy. Like I said, ask me after week 6. But I think social media and everything else needs to kind of, certain people on social media and everything else needs to relax. And like I said, then you got the fans that overly defend everything the Giants did. No, the Giants did some bad things. This game was no different than a McAdoo or a Shermer game. I shouldn't say is no different than a Shermer game. Shermer game, the Giants, I have to admit, the Giants always played hard under Shermer. The Giants never quit under Shermer. And they would keep games close till the end. And then they would, lose, or they would get blown out early, and then all of a sudden make a comeback, which we all knew was going to fail. And then people would always say, well, let's see, that's just Eli. He's just throwing on that garbage touchdown. Well, the last touchdown the Giants had, that was a garbage touchdown. The Steelers weren't playing the way they were playing the first 3.5 quarters. And Jones, you know what? You have a 19-play drive, man. You can't end it with a bad pass in the end zone. And I loved how people used to say, well, Jones has never had a turnover in the red zone. Well, yeah, now he's got one. And we knew it was going to happen because no person's going to go through his career. Joe Montana didn't go through his career not having a red zone pick. Neither did Tom Brady. So I'm not expecting any different from Daniel Jones. But like I said, I think we just need to relax, certain people. I think we need to just figure it out. I do think we need, when we got a pass rush like that, I think we do need to run the draw. I used to laugh because with Kevin Gilbride. Kevin Gilbride, and I used to say, because my wife used to yell at Kevin Gilbride, the Giants would get into 3rd and 14, every play was a draw. To the point my wife and I used to sit there and yell, don't run the draw, don't run the draw. He ran the draw. I mean... Hold on, man. Dying right here for a second. Sorry about that. That was allergies. But the whole thing was don't run the draw. And then we would be like, he ran the draw. But this time I'm saying run the draw. So I'm not going to worry about firing Judge or he's the wrong guy. I'm not going to say Jones is a waste of or a bum or we should never have taken him. I'm not going to say Barkley's overrated and we shouldn't extend him yet. It's way too early for all of that. I think what we need to do is we all just need to relax. We need to start preparing for Chicago. It is a short week. Chicago is going to be an interesting game. Their defense, not going to play as exceptional as Pittsburgh, but they are a top 10 defense. Mitchell Trubisky, I'm not scared of, but they did beat us last year in Chicago. So, we have out of these 3 games, this is our opportunity to take one, isn't going to be in Chicago. And we'll talk about that on Wednesday. But like I said, everyone just kind of needs to relax. We need to run the draw. We need to just wait and see what happens in week 2. And I love it because you know what's going to happen in week 2 if the Giants win 27-17? People are going to be like, I told you, look at that. Barkley's a beast. Jones is the greatest pick ever. I'm so glad we hired Judge. That's what's going to happen. That's why I don't go on social media. But like I said, we just need to relax. We need to take it easy. If you want, drop us an email at onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. We'll talk you off the cliff. Or you can follow us on Twitter at onlineBigBlue at Twitter. OnlineBigBlue1 on Twitter. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you can subscribe, if you can ring that bell, I think you know what that means. That'd be awesome.